Hello, my little goblins. We're back at it again, and this time we have a new crawler list. This crawler list was brought to you by Master Duel Meta, as someone there created this, and I was talking about Spright being already probably the best version of crawler, and he already had it done. So, except he has a little bit more, or she. When I say he, it could be either gender. I don't know who these people are, so don't get me. Don't get at me. But let's just talk about the deck, right? We got Sprite Engine, the Krawler support. We got Soma, 1 Spine, 1 Accent, 2 Receptors, and a Deus Ex Crawler. Now you might be saying, why is Gale Dogra in this? Well, if you guys aren't familiar with what Gale Dogra does, is for essentially 6,000 life points, we can add Shadal Schism to our hand. But I'm also going to say this. For 3,000 life points, if we have World Legacy Mind Meld in our hand, right, you can pretty much add Shadal Schism. Because you typically want to send both of these to the graveyard. This searches, and then you discard, and then this grabs it from the graveyard. That way you don't lose in card advantage. You get like pure card advantage from it. But sometimes 6,000 life points is pretty steep. Also, mind you, when you use this ability twice, you can only pretty much use 1 Spright starter for the rest of the duel. But yeah, typically what we want for an end board is we want Spright Elf, arrows pointing towards Winda. Obviously, you wouldn't have Winda, you would have the trap set, but you Winda on your opponent's turn. But you want a Winda in the Spright thing so they can't imperm, right? And then secondary, we activate World Legacy Mind Meld to special summon Deus Ex Crawler. And then we obviously also have World Legacy Pawns to flip it up. So what that would do is it Dark Rulers your opponent's board permanently, right? As long as it's face up on the field. And on top of that, it also makes it so they can only special summon once per turn. So this will shut down most decks. There are outs to it, but this will lock out a lot of decks. Obviously, if they have Dark Ruler, they have Droplet, because Droplet doesn't target. That'll be fine. Regeki and Lightning Storm actually do nothing to this deck, though, because the Winda can't be destroyed by card effects. So, but if they can manage to get something bigger than 2,200, we're looking at Gamma Burst. Then yeah, they can still break this. But I will say, if you're playing against Spright and they Gamma Burst you and they do kill the Winda, guess what? They're probably gonna lose to this. It's gonna be very hard to out this unless they have Smashers and they have to draw it naturally. So, all right, we're gonna get into some games and we're gonna see how the deck plays, and then we're gonna get into a recap. So I hope you guys enjoy. Hello, my little goblins. We're here with game number 1, and we're playing against Cosmic 7531. We're gonna get Ashed here. So we're like, you're already gonna see a match. We're playing through hand traps. My hand's ass, by the way. I have to normal summon Max C. So whatever. Going to Gigantic Spright. Galdodra. Like I said, we're going to lose all our life points. Now, we could have done Spright plays here. We could have summoned Spright Plug, grab freaking Carrot, and all this other shit. But I think Winda, for the most part, will shut down most decks by itself. Especially with the decks that are out. Now that everyone's like turbo special summoning, I think this is a great time to take advantage of Winda. I think she's very strong in this meta. So it's going to activate Harpies. It's not a big deal. It does get rid of our Smashers. That's the only reason why we summon Max C back to the field, which is annoying. But we are going to still special summon Winda. And remember, make sure you summon it into the Spright Elf column. Because if you don't summon it in the Spright Elf column, you're going to have a little bit of a trouble. So he's playing Salads. I'm going to tell you right now, with Salads, yeah, they're going to have a hard time playing through this. Their deck doesn't really play very well against it. We're grabbing Spright Starter. Just kind of have next turn. Assuming I don't take 1,000 damage here. I think if I take 900 damage, I'm screwed. So he summons Balinx. He attacks my Maxi. And yeah, the game's pretty much over from here. Special summon carrot. Attack. I don't know why special summon defense habit. We attack with everything. We set starter. So the reason we set starter is because on our opponent's turn we can flip it up to play carrot. And because remember, with Winda, you're also limited in special summoning per turn too. So Winda against control decks, not very good. You don't want to be summoning it because it screws you over more than it screws it up. Hello, we're here with game number 2 and we're playing against, I don't know his name, but we're going to lead it off with Nimble Beaver. And we're getting Max Seed. So we're going to cross it out. We say no thank you to Max Seed. So we're going to do some Nimble Beaver plays. Boom, both of them come out. We go into Gigantic Spright. Now, so this is a tricky card. So World Legacy Survivor. Once you go into Gigantic Spright, you can freely cast this card. Because this card locks you out of anything but Link summoning. So if you do that before you go into Spright, you're not going to be able to do it. And I'm going to show you why it's very important. World Legacy, any of the World Legacy cards, they are prime. They are the best cards for us doing the full combo that I was talking about. So, flip up, probably grabbing Soma here. And we hit the trap, which is really good. Means it goes to the graveyard. Getting the trap in the graveyard is probably the most important thing for this. Because this is what it does. So now we get, you know the deal. We go down to 2,000 life points. We have no other really special summons here because we're locked into level 2s. We're going to activate Lib's effect to special summon, to place the World Legacy pawns on the face down. Play Schism face down. You're going to see how powerful a board this is. We're playing against twins. Probably Sprite twins. He plays Call by the Grave on one of my Shaddolls. The great thing about this combo is when you send both Shaddolls to the graveyard, they would have to have double Call by the Grave to make you not summon Winda. So he banishes. We still summon Winda because we have a Dark in the graveyard. And there goes it. Boom. So now he's locked underneath Winda, and we have Duel Krawler. Special summons Jet. I'm going to use World Legacy Pawns to flip this up. This makes a Jet get negated. But you see my opponent is running a 44 card deck. And he naturally has Gamma Burst because they're better than me at the game. So with that, he just actually kills my Winda anyway. So, kind of annoying. And then he starts special summoning. I'm going to max C. I find this funny, to be honest, because he can't play through Krawler. So, Krawler locks his whole deck out. He goes into this 3,200. It's already very, very over for him. We're gonna set this World Legacy Mind, and he just gives up. Because World Legacy Mind would also, like, I could negate one of his abilities pretty much. So yeah, this is kind of how the deck plays. Seems pretty good, doesn't it? That seems pretty deadly in my opinion. Hello, this is game number 3 and we're playing against KMO. And yeah, so like I said, this deck seems very strong. Or like pretty damn good so far. I will say, this is a kind of a funny game. So this is a funny game. The stream wanted me to keep in the game because I summoned Keldora and then I just use his effect. My opponent's probably so confused, and then I special summon Carrot, right? And then I activate Sprite Starter because he max C's, so he gets 0 draws out of this. I still get to set my Schism. And I will have 2 negates up. He just concedes immediately. Isn't that freaking hilarious? That was kind of like game 2.5. I mean, I'm not even going to count it really game 2. Hello, we're here with game number 3. The official game number 3. We're playing against Mac Jones. And yeah, we're going to be comboing. You might be saying, why didn't you go for starter? Because that's like, let's be honest, it's like pussy shit. Come on. We're here to play crawlers, right? So we want to do the crawler play. Okay, here comes Lib. That's gonna set pawns, and then obviously Sprite off. By the way, Make sure you don't activate this effect if you're on turn 1. We set this for smashers. He's going to play E-Teleport. We're going to activate Schism. So Schism is going to summon Winda. Then I'm going to activate Mind Meld. That's going to summon Duex Krawler. And we still have Max C and we have Smashers. By the way, when you Max C at this point, since it's in the main phase, if you tried to call by the Grave It, we literally just Sprite Elf resurrect it. So he can't even actually interact with the card unless the only way he interacts with it is with Ash, and the opponent is playing a punk deck. It's like a punk zombie deck, and he just loses immediately because there's no way he can play through any of that. Hello, we're here with the 5th and final game, or 4th and final game, whatever you want to call it. So the reason why these games these games are very short, but these are how all the games go. If you go first, these are how the games go. If you go second, most of the time you're going to be leaning heavily onto your sprite board. You're going to be leaning heavily on the sprite cards to break their board. So we're going to activate Galdodra. The Krawler cards are good for extending as well, but we just... honestly, throughout the night, we didn't draw too many of them. But Soma is very good for extending. But you don't really want to... It's kind of awkward because like you don't want to flip down the red or carrot. So, I mean, if you do flip down a card, you probably want to... Like, you prefer flipping down a Krawler card is what I'm getting at. So, again, he's going to activate this. We're actually going to tribute the IP. They're playing against Live Twin again. Pops it. Doesn't get the search. He normal summons Lilal. We're going to activate Schism now in retaliation. He's going to activate Starter in retaliation. I'm going to bring back my Jet so I can search for follow-up. Because I don't have anything really to bring back that's relatively useful. We don't have the Mind Meld trap, so this is going to be a little tougher. But we do have Window. So he special summons her. We have Jet in hand. Add Starter. So this person, I don't think this person reads what cards do because Triple Tactics takes control. But Winda, since it stops both of us, him taking Winda, he's trying to link it off, and that doesn't work. So he concedes. And this is how the deck's played. You just beat people with Winda for the most part. So is it really a Krawler deck? I still think it is because Duelist Krawler is pretty badass. So let's go to the recap. Hello and thank you for watching this far. Please subscribe. Just do it. Don't even think about it. Do it. Click the bell and you'll be a happier person. And I think you'll be a sexier person too. And don't we all just want to feel sexy? Okay. Well, let's talk about how the deck performed. But before that, join our Discord. The link is down below. Join it. We got 400 strong members. They're all jacked Chads. Absolute units. And I just want to say also, we have a tournament that's playing today on the 31st. So, you want to join? It's pretty easy. No meta decks. So, join a Discord and you'll see the tournament information. Just ask someone and they'll direct you right to it. I might direct you to it too. So, let's get to seeing how the deck performed. How the deck performed? Well, we climbed 5 ranks in roughly around like 4 hours of gameplay. So, we went from Plat 5, we climbed to Plat 1. Some of it was off stream, but yeah, the deck performed really well. I think it was really strong. I do think it was... I think most of the games we won was because of Winda, but I am also going to say Duel X Krawler definitely carried because you see in some of those games, Winda got outed. People had a monster that was bigger than 2200. They have Gamma Burst naturally in their hand. And boom, Deus Ex Krawler dubs us the win. Because this card is absolutely bananas when it's flipped up. So, I do want to say I am a little sad that we didn't play more with the Krawlers. I do think the Krawlers are really cool. Especially since they come with like natural... they have like natural Nibiru protection. Which, I mean, most of the time you shouldn't be getting nibbed anyway because you're playing Gigantic Sprite. But they have natural Nibiru negation. They're also... They're the best... They are the best targets for Soma because you get value out of them. Like, setting spine and then using Soma, that's actually nice value because now you have a spine set, so your opponent's going to be very weary about doing anything to that face down. The really great thing too about Deus Ex Krawler is it comes face down. Like when you summon it off Mind Meld, it comes face down. And I know most people say, well, that's annoying. Well, it also protects you when you have Winda on the field. Your opponent, if they have Droplet, they have to activate Droplet, right? Like if they pretend they have already, they have their special summon limit because you time the way you timed the Winda, right? They already have to activate Droplet, and that way they can't just automatically Droplet your Deus Ex Krawler, and then once Droplet's over, you just flip it up, and it's just like, okay, you still lose. Glad you Dropleted. So I think it coming in face down is actually like a benefit of the card. Also, I like the fact that it also has a target effect. So when this card is face down, if your opponent, let's say, tries to Baron Defleur it, you can flip it face up and it negates the card. It'll negate Baron Defleur and destroy it. And remember, Baron, I don't think Baron can negate this back because when this is flipped face up, I'm pretty sure their cards are negated. So I'm not 100% sure. Someone can check that for me, or any rules junkies. I think this would work though, which is really cool. Cool ability. So. Well, on a power scale level, I'm going to say, well, if I think Spright, like pure Spright, it's definitely like a tier 1 deck, right? It's definitely a tier 1 deck. I would probably say it was probably around like a 9.5 power level, I think, when I was making that, or like a 9 power level. I would probably put this at like an 8. I drop it a full tier because there's definitely some non-combo cards together. Like I said, you have to be very, very good at watching triggers because, like, if you use Gigantic, you're locked out of playing Soma. If you use World Legacy Survivor, you're locked out of playing Gigantic. If you use Spright Starter, again, you're locked out of playing Soma. You're also locked out of playing Duel Krawler. This is... By the way, if you guys are wondering why I wait to play my Mind Meld, is because if I Mind Meld on my turn after using Gigantic, because I always have to use it to go into the window play, right? So if I do that, it will only let me special summon one of the level 2 crawlers because I'm locked into level 2s. So make sure you save this for your opponent's turn so you can just do it on their turn. It doesn't cost you anything. So just don't be stupid with it. But yeah, I think the deck's a lot of fun. It's a nice little break from just playing the normal stuff. I think this card's really cool too. Soma's a really cool card. I just wish we were able to like showcase the Krawler cards more. I just didn't really get good games with like just the Krawler cards doing their thing. But I will say, like, the whole point of having the Soma is like, let's say you special summon Beaver, and or you special. Let's say you even just special summon Krawler, right? And then you're going for like blue. Actually, that's a horrible example because then you can just go into Gigantic and just combo off fully. I'm just gonna say when you summon Krawler. When you special summon one of your sprites, if for some reason they deal with the sprite, let's say they negate and destroy blue, you can activate Krawler, Soma. Let's say they have a Baron Defleur, right? This is a scenario now. We're going to scenarios. I normal summon Axon, right? I activate Sprite Blue from hand. It's special summon Sprite Blue, activate it. He Baron Defleur negates it, right? So it destroys it. Now you'd say, oh, well, do you have any other sprites? I don't have any other sprites. So now it's like, well, I special summon Soma. I could flip this face down and pretty much do all the plays now. Because Soma lets you special summon 2 other level 2s. This becomes a level 2. So that gives you 3 level 2s for you to go into Gigantic Sprite. And then fully combo off with the Winda. Or you could fully combo off with the Sprite cards. Like you could special summon Jet. Jet will grab, let's say, Smashers or Starter. Then you can use starter to grab carrot or red. You could. It's a lot. It's a versatile card, is what I'm getting at. Last card I'm going to talk about is Retaliating Sea. This card was really good. So the meta right now is flooded with cards that special summon using like spells. Like you got E-Teleport, Branded Fusion, all the runic cards, the Sprite starter. This card makes it really annoying to play through it, because what ends up happening is when this card is special summoned, when your opponent activates one of those spells, you can special summon it, right? And any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. So unless you have a way of dealing with it, sometimes it's pretty deadly. Like I'm going to tell you right now, if you're playing Sprite, it's not as annoying, but it's still pretty annoying, because you getting all your cards getting banished means you can't revive things with Elf. It makes it harder to use Smashers because you're running out of resources. So it's actually a pretty good card. And against some other decks, like you do this against Runic, they just, unless they have the negate or the destroy, their deck is just locked out. Like all the Runic cards just get banished, so they're screwed. So on a tier list, I'm gonna say this deck is probably like a tier 2.5. I mean, yeah, it might be. The turn 1 is crazy, but it's a little bit inconsistent because Duex Krawler, I need to get Mind Meld in the graveyard, so it's a little not as consistent as I want it to be. But I'd probably put it like a 2.5, probably like tier 3. Let's be realistic. It's probably a tier 3 deck. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think. And let me know what you want to see next. I know I did back-to-back Krawler videos, but I wanted to make sure I got a pure variant and then something that's a lot more competitive. So I think we did it here, and let's go. Goodbye.